We have some new information about the proposed rock mine situation, and honestly, I can't tell if it's good or bad. Yesterday, the South Florida Water Management District held their February meeting where the off-agenda item topic, the rock mine, was heavily discussed. You had the classic sugar trolls there defending the rock mine, saying they didn't see a problem with digging a giant hole in the ground over 30 years that would be right next to the EA reservoir.
I can't see anything wrong with it, quite frankly. I mean, it's probably the least expensive way in the world to get storage south. Let somebody else dig the hole, and I can't see any reason to oppose it.
Then you had the environmental groups who expressed a deep concern of the implications of this rock mining operation and the precedent that it would set in the EAA.
This project or projects like it and processes around them may set the trajectory in the future for what the future of the EAA is. Is it one of rock mines with possible benefits 30, 40, 50 years down the road, or is it one of true restoration? Thank you.
But what was most important was what the district was saying. Executive Director Drew Bartlett opened up his statements by explaining that this rock mine proposal was still being vetted and evaluated, and that if the district staff concludes that it is a viable project, then it will be brought forth in front of the board for approval.
Ultimately, after staff review and vetting, if staff concludes it is a viable storage and treatment project that will provide regional benefits, and it will not impact the construction or operation of the EAA reservoir project, the staff will bring the project to the board for your consideration before entering into what's called a comprehensive agreement as outlined in Florida statutes. We project that the staff review of this proposal will happen over the next year. If staff concludes that it is viable and does not conflict with the EAA reservoir project, only then will the district staff bring it to the board for your consideration. At this time, there's really nothing for you to review or approve.
The board further emphasized the need to heavily evaluate this rock mining operation and its potential risk to Everglades restoration.
One thing that we have to be concerned about when you're talking about storing water, once you drill and blast and excavate, can we retain storage without having lateral seepage through hydrostatic pressure? There's got to be a lot of determinations on the geology of soil at the bottom and the lateral movements to see if that you can store water. And so I would suggest that we be very careful on that project. I think it's very sensitive in the geographical area that it's in to start with, and there has to be tremendous benefits to Everglades restoration and water storage for anything like that to ever occur. So
that all sounds good and dandy, but from our perspective, there's a dangerous miscommunication going on between the district and the South End group proposing the mine. The way we see it, they're not on the same page at all with where this project proposal stands. Now, the biggest issue in all of this comes back to this letter that Executive Director Drew Bartlett sent to Palm Beach County. Remember, this letter is the linchpin in getting this rock mine approved, and when you first read it, it looks like the district is giving the full green light to go ahead and start mining. However, the language in this letter is pretty vague. Words like could be, potentially are seen throughout, leaving an opening for misinterpretation. And this is exactly what Lisa Interlandi from the Everglades Law Center brought up in her public comment.
So if you guys don't clarify whether or not you intended to identify this project as a viable water resource project, it is very likely that this project could get its approval from Palm Beach County and be already mining before a year from now that you guys actually determine whether or not it's viable. Because they are characterizing this letter as the correspondence that is needed for them to move forward under Palm Beach County's plan. Palm Beach County's plan basically prohibits mining in the Everglades Agricultural Area. It only allows it for water resources and for public road building projects. And that has been tested legally, and Mr. Bergeron can tell you that. This project, okay, whether or not this project is viable, you guys have not determined yet. We just heard that today. Yet Palm Beach County is being told that you have determined that. So that is a problem. So that is why we're here today asking you. I understand the prepared comments, but I would ask you to please clarify yes or no. Did you intend to identify this as a viable water resource project? The county needs to know whether or not they should allow this project to move forward. The county, when they adopted this provision back in 2000, they did it to allow Everglades restoration, viable Everglades restoration projects to move forward. Okay? They didn't want to stop Everglades restoration, but they didn't want to allow commercial mining in the Everglades Agricultural Area. You know, I heard a comment that more storage is always beneficial. I disagree with that. More storage is beneficial if it doesn't harm the existing projects that we are spending billions of taxpayer dollars to promote. The other thing is that C51, I support that project. It's doing a lot of good for Lake Worth Lagoon, and it will do good, hopefully, for Loxahatchee River in the future. It has not come without taxpayer expense. It has received almost $300 million in funding from the legislature in the last 4 years. Okay, these are projects that have to be vetted, and I'm just asking you to please do that, and please clarify today what is the status of this project. It's not fair to leave
Please
this on
wrap up
Palm Beach
your
County.
comments.
Palm Beach County will possibly approve this project, and they will be digging a hole before you guys determine whether or not it's viable. So please, if you could clarify today, we would appreciate it.
Thank you, Ms. Interlandi.
Essentially, it's great. The board is saying that they're still evaluating this, that it's not a done deal whatsoever. But if Palm Beach County interpreted this letter as a complete authorization, then the Southland Group and Big Sugar have all they need to start mining. The district can keep evaluating this as long as they want. But again, if Palm Beach County approves this project based on the letter they were already given, then it wouldn't matter. The project can move forward full steam ahead. I can guarantee you that this whole process is far from over. Go to our website, read up on this rock mine debacle, and stay with us.